Good afternoon, everyone, and welcome to Our World Power Show. Another Saturday here with you guys. Don't forget, today is a very important day. If long as you are above ground, it is a good day. Thank you, Lord. My co-host, Mr. Glenn Greenwich, the
Th-
Honorable Mayor of Sutton Boulevard.
Don't be stealing my line.
I'm sorry.
Yes, any day above ground is a great day.
Yeah, it is.
Absolutely, absolutely. Welcome to the show today, and we have a lovely guest, Delicia B. Davis, who is not only an author, she's also an entrepreneur and a publisher. So, without any further ado, welcome to the show, Delicia.
Thank you so much for having me.
Oh, you're very welcome.
Well, it is a pleasure to have you on today. You do a lot of writing, you do a lot of different things.
Yes.
Tell me, when did you get started and what inspired you?
So I've been writing since I was very, very young. I think I got my very first diary when I was about 8 years old.
Okay.
And once I started writing in that journal, I've been writing ever since. I probably have like 20 completely filled journals documenting all the different experiences in my life since then.
Okay,
Yeah.
that's very nice. So when did you get pacified as far as certain things you would write about and not other things?
As a youngster, it was always just about important parts of my life, experiences, lessons, and, things that I just appreciate having experienced, whether good, bad, or ugly. But I was also an avid reader. So once I realized that maybe I can have my own book, I went to school for journalism. I got my bachelor's in journalism and media studies, and I learned how to publish myself. And that's when I was able to call myself an author. And let me tell you, I've been writing books that I'd like to have published for many, many years, but it wasn't until I experienced a divorce where I had some time and some passion and some pain to really pour into a book, and that's when I published my first book in 2013.
Oh, great.
Wow.
Now, where can people read your books at? Where
So
are they
my-
located?
Sure. So my books are always on Amazon.com, but it's also, you can get your hard copy right on the spot at my brand new multimedia space, the Luxe Library, which is right here in Queens/Long Island. And it's a luxurious library where you can come and shop books and, create, and you can bring kids, you can come as an adult and enjoy our many clubs. And it's not just for reading, or it's also for writing, it's also for creating, and of course our own original content is coming out of there every day.
So tell us a little bit more about what that entails. 'Cause I know you gave us kind of like the highlights, but tell us. So if I'm a aspiring writer or a rapper or something, I can come in there and get inspiration.
Not just inspiration, but yes is the answer to your question. But more than inspiration, we are going to coach you through. We're going to basically produce your greatest work with you.
Okay.
So yes, the Lux Library is a multimedia space. We do produce and we publish books, music, and media. So everything from journals, magazines, children's books, adult novels, your autobiography even. You can come in, meet with us. We have these great packages where we will walk you through from the very idea of your project all the way to the end of the project, where you host your viewing party or your launch party right here at the Lux Library in our space.
Wow.
Wow.
Wow. How did you get to learn all these different aspects of the business?
I learned it just by doing it, by wanting it for myself, having such a hard time breaking into the industry. Because like I said, I studied it in college, so I graduated. I did many internships. I worked for Warner Brother Records while in college. I worked for news stations. I worked for the Food Network, BET News back when it was what it was. And when I was ready to get a real job, it was just so hard. And I said, you know what, if I'm going to have this hard of a time, when I finished writing my book, I said, if I don't get a deal, I'm going to learn how to publish myself, because nobody's going to stop me.
Yeah, I do believe in a do-it-yourself way. Sometimes it's the best thing to do.
Apparently.
What advice would you give to any young person such as yourself that wants to get into this field? What are some of the things they need to know?
So, of course, it depends on what stage they are, what have they done so far, what have they studied, and what commitment level they have. But the first thing I would tell them is visit the Luxe Library, theluxelibrary.co online, or on Instagram if you would like to reach out to me directly. So yes, visit the Luxe Library first, and then study it. Study exactly what you want to do. Study people who have done it before, and figure out where you want to fit in. Which space do you want to take up, or whose space do you want to take, before you really, go ahead and commit the finances and the time to it, because it is a worldwide industry, and I'm seeking to make a mark on the media industry globally. But some people want to be local. Some want to be national, and there are different spaces and different ways to get into each place. So, and even if you want to do a literary project, a book project versus a music project versus a film or media project, there are different ways to get in, and you have to do your research.
Okay. So now, how do you help somebody, say, from the beginning? Say they wanted to do a book. They want to write a book. I come to you and I say, I want to write my life story. What's the next step?
So the next step is we just sit down, we have our first meeting, we have our concept development session, and as long as you're really prepared, and that means in time, financially, and with your time, we get started.
Okay. And let me just ask financially, what is the cost these days to do that?
So our costs, they vary based on which project you want to start, but we typically charge you about $200 an hour to get started.
Okay. Mm-hmm.
We have a 10-step process, and it's as simple as it can get. It includes every single thing that you need to create your masterpiece. That includes your copyright, that includes your development sessions, that includes your illustrations, your covers, your marketing material, everything.
Oh, okay. That's good to know. That's not bad.
Yeah.
And you provide the same thing for music videos and
Yes.
so forth as well.
Yes.
Wow.
Yes.
Wow.
So how big is your space now?
So the Luxe Library is 1,100 square feet. It has 2 rooms, an accessible bathroom, a parking lot, a back exit, a little outdoor lounge area as well. And it's truly just like my dream come true. I've envisioned this space in my mind, and when I opened it, everybody's like, what's a luxury library? What's a Luxe Library? So I'm like, you kind of just have to come and see it. It's something that I don't think exists anywhere, especially not in our community. And by that, I mean the Black community. So you have to really step into this world to really understand.
No, you're right. I don't know that I've heard that particular concept. I've heard it maybe for music videos and music tracks, but not necessarily for both. So what had you come up with the concept?
Well, myself alone, I was just opening it up as a publishing house.
Right.
And over the pandemic, we built out several book clubs via Zoom.
Okay.
Where our kids club, because my sons are writers and illustrators as well, and then they became music artists over the pandemic, writing about 20 songs that I didn't take seriously at first, and I was like, find a beat and then I'll see if you're really real. And they did. So I said, all right, let's get in the studio. So right now, to date, they have 6 songs available on all the music streaming platforms. And so when I opened up the Luxe Library to produce books and to sell books, someone was like, wait, you got way more going on. They like making music videos in there. They work with their choreographer in there. We do our kids clubs where the kids are creating magazines and they're writing their own songs and they're creating their own books. So somebody said, this is a multimedia space. And I was like, oh, really? I'm a little humble. Like, I wasn't really ready to call it that, even though that is the bigger picture for me. But once somebody else saw that vision, I was like, oh, maybe it's really happening.
Okay.
So that's when we expanded.
So you have a studio that you can do recording.
We don't have a music studio in-house. We do podcasts and things like that there, but our music studio, we actually work with other artists off-site.
Oh, okay. All right, good.
And we're always looking for more, you know. Our creators are coming in when they have, you know, ideas. We go to Brooklyn, we go to Long Island City. We just found a studio closer to us, like right in Long Island. So we're open. We're open to work and collaborate with others.
Okay. Are you for profit or non for profit?
So we're a for-profit business. We are
Okay.
as our publishing company. We do have a nonprofit called Dream Team Leaders, where we work directly with youth, underserved youth, especially in the Rockaway community, Far Rockaway community, where we try to get grants to really fund what we want to do, and we have been doing with them. Because I actually started my first in-person book club with the Arbor and View right on 59th Street in Far Rockaway, where we've done 10-week book clubs with them every summer for many years until the pandemic. And so every time I have a new book, they're like, can you come back out? And that was really how I got to develop the book club concept. Which was really a goal of mine, especially as an educator. It's not enough for people to just take the book, go and read it. I really want to dig into it. I want to discuss it. I want to talk about the lessons. I want to talk about what people felt. Did you understand? Did you empathize? Did you relate? That's another element of literature for me.
Okay. In one of your books, I see you deal with mental wellness. Can you tell me a little bit about that and how that became one of your projects?
Absolutely. So my very first book was Dear Diary, The Bullying Won't Stop. And of course I took the concept from the fact that I love writing in diaries, and I wanted to basically create a fictional diary where other young people are able to relate on that day-to-day, that feeling. And let me tell you, it's a roller coaster ride. These are written from the perspective of a teen. Sorry, your question, let me go back to your question. What was it again? I got lost in my tangent.
Like, what was my question?
Mental wellness.
The mental
wellness,
Right.
yes, yes.
So I felt like there was just such a huge portion of me that wasn't being addressed when I was writing these journals, because I took excerpts from my actual diaries and put them in these books. There was a huge portion of mental health that wasn't really addressed as when I was a youth. And, you know, my parents were really strict and they were really religion-based and really educational-based. And I loved that. They put me in the best schools. And those schools outside of our neighborhoods actually did focus on mental health. They had drug prevention. They had after school. They had peer mediation. I was a peer mediator. I learned how to negotiate and settle conflicts when I was in middle school.
Oh, so it opened the door to you.
Definitely,
your mind.
Definitely. I was like, wow. Like, you know, I had one of my siblings went to school right here in the community. She was getting in fights every day, and when they found out that somebody wanted to fight, they was calling you in a room and they were talking to you about it. And I was like, wow, this is different, you know? And it really changed the way that I dealt with problems in general. So even the fact that I was able to utilize writing as a way to heal from the bullying, from the violence, from the hate, you know, there was just so many things that I was dealing with as a young person. And not like my family was talking about it, not like my community was talking about it, but I was writing about it, and I was internalizing it, and I was reflecting on it, and I was healing in my own personal way. And I was like, why doesn't the rest of the community know how to do this? Why don't they get this? Why aren't they tapping into this? This is what we need. And so I said, I guess if I have that knowledge and I know better, I'm going to do better for my people.
Okay.
You know, that's one of the amazing things that when I hear about what you've done and your history, you've done quite a variety of things, all of which have prepared you to be the entrepreneur that you are now, that you're developing. You know, you're unconcealing to us, basically.
Yeah.
So if we were to look at some of those things, what would be your standout disciplines or learnings that have contributed the most to who you are today?
Great question. Because I'm working on some disciplines now. Now that I'm in business, like storefront is a whole new ball game. So timing has got to be next on the list. But thus far, I've been led just first of all, by God.
Okay.
You know, I don't get caught up with a lot of worldly things. There's so many distractions out here, and believe me, I've been in media since I was a very young age. So I got pushed into like music video world. I got pushed into a lot of things, and because I've had God in my life, there's always been a discernment that's like, no, like not going there, not doing that, and I think that's important because I see a lot of, especially our people, really selling their souls to get in the game, and I'm just not willing to do that. So that's how entrepreneurship came to me, because I said if they're not willing to take me as I am, I'm gonna create the platform. I'm gonna create the platform that I need for myself, my family, my community, my legacy.
Very good. That is what's needed here in the community. We have a lot of devastation going on since the pandemic, when a lot of people suffering mental illness and violence.
Yeah, I see.
And have you ever thought about going out and speaking to the different schools and stuff about how you got through your life and what happened in your life to make you who you are today? Because a lot of the young people today in schools, they need that, role model.
Yes, so it's funny you say that, because when I put out my first book in 2013, I was working for the New York City Parks, and I had a more flexible schedule. I've been to so many schools.
Okay.
Bullying was big back then.
Yes.
I mean, we have other bigger issues now, but bullying was so big. It was suicidal. It was violent. It was everything. And I went to so many schools, churches. I've been to nonprofits. I mean, the Girl Scouts have hosted me, and so many more. But funny thing is, since I became a teacher, for the past 5 years, I really haven't visited as many schools as I would like. And just you saying that is just, I'm going to make an initiative to get back out there.
Yeah, because it's very much needed. We have a lot of groups out here that is working with young people, but when you come through with broadcasting and journalism, it's a different view, which is needed. Because it's positive,
We got one of our listeners, and he asked, "What's your end goal for the Luxe Library?"
If I must say, I mean, there really is no end. Legacies will continue, they will live on, and one thing about books is they are timeless. And so is our content. So really there's no end, but the vision, the long-term vision, is to build, our own version of Disney. I want to do so much more with the brand, the creators that I have coming out of there. We've been open for less than 6 months, and I mean, I'm working on children's book stories by some of the most talented young people. I'm working on I'm working with a 7-year-old right now on an amazing story, and she doesn't even want to just do a book. She wants to do audio. She wants to do her own sound effects. I'm like, let's go. I'm working with one of your artists that produced from here, on his autobiography. There's just so many different things, and of course I have more books coming out. My kids have more books, but I mean, let's get our stories out there. Let's tell our stories. Let's share our lessons. Let's heal together.
Now, from my understanding, how do you do all this and be a mother and a single mother? Period. That's a big job.
It sure is. I'm not sure. I guess. I just got to say God, because he has brought me such a great support system, my parents, my family, everybody. This village, it does not stop with me, and it's not going to stop with them, with the kids. So I say I'm just grateful for the fact that, I have family and friends, I have other mothers, single mothers who really, we collaborate, we work together. Who's picking up today? Who's picking up this week? Who's doing summer? And when you show love to people, and what love is and what it looks like, you only accept that in your life. And with that comes just so many blessings. We're all just kind of working together to just make it happen. And I stick around people who have similar goals, similar visions and initiatives, and who want the best for their kids. And that's how I move.
Now,
So
go ahead. Go ahead.
Where do you want to be in 5 years?
In 5 years, I want to be at peace. I want to own homes and hopefully build some build some properties for others less fortunate.
Okay.
And even some educational spaces. Let me say that. Yeah, let me not leave out the fact that I need to maybe, hopefully, have a Luxe Library Learning Center.
A learning center.
That's beautiful.
Yeah.
That is beautiful.
Yeah.
Any thought on moving it into different cities?
Absolutely, absolutely. I mean, if it happens in 5 years, great. I wasn't thinking it would happen in 5 years, but I might be expanding to a second location this fall. So maybe in 5 years we'll be in other cities. We definitely want to go to Atlanta and LA with this, and possibly other countries. But I have a lot of family in London, so if we're going to go international, we're going to London and we're going to Jamaica.
Oh, right. I like that. That sounds very nice.
Thank
Now,
you.
tell me about your two sons. How did they get involved in your business?
Well, since they were in my stomach, I was playing a lot of music, reading to them, and not to mention, I opened up my first dance studio while pregnant with them. And
Really?
so they were dancing right along with me. I had a summer studio, summer 2011, while working full-time as a manager at one of the parks and recreation facilities. I pushed my schedule back to 2 to 10. I think I closed. Yeah, I did like 2 to 10 or 3 to 11 or something, just so that I could run my studio in the daytime and still keep my job. I've been doing that for a while. It's time to just focus in. But they were just born into this when they were very young, like 2, 3, 4. I was running my dance studio, and they were there every Friday. And they were watching other kids dance, and I did not know that they had the skill and the talent that they had until they just started jumping in and doing it. I did not actually sit and teach them any of it. They were just observing me, watching me teach. I didn't think, like, as boys, that they would be interested in what I was doing in my dance studio or with even my books, but they jumped right in. And
So you also studied dance?
Yes. I'm actually a certified phys ed teacher, Zumba instructor, yoga instructor.
Oh my
my
goodness!
Let me tell you, the Department of Education, they did that. Somebody actually pulled me from my Parks and Recreation job and was like, look, here's an opportunity for you to teach, get another degree, and, dance and do what you love. And I took it, so.
I love to see young people just strive,
Thank you.
and because we hear so many negative stories about our youth, but there's so many young people, so many minorities that are doing wonderful work
Yes.
within this community and the whole world,
Yes.
and that's why we're here at Our World to make everybody aware of it. Because it's very important. I don't want you all to forget. Please don't forget to call in on 347-410-8077 here at Our World Media and WGJS Radio. And please don't forget to follow us at Our World Media at WGJS Radio. Thank you. Go ahead, Glenn. What's up?
Well, so many talents. I shouldn't be surprised, but I think there's something about your ability to grasp things, to keep yourself motivated, excited, and passionate about the things that you're involved in. Because I'm thinking here multimedia. So I first heard books and music, but I'm also hearing dance. I'm also hearing, there may be opportunities for plays and spoken word so I mean, we're just fanning out some of the possibilities there in terms of what you're able to provide for our community,
Yes.
because we know that our community is like you, multi-talented, and has all of these great talents. And again, most people don't know, or like your boys, they watch and learn,
Yeah.
but people don't know that they can do that until they jump in and actually take it
Yes,
on.
exactly.
And you're giving them the opportunity to take it on.
Wow,
You
I
know,
like that analogy.
I'm so inspired by this 7-year-old that you talked about, that is, writing her own book.
It's crazy.
So it's just a wonderful, inspiring things. And just for our listeners, we're going to have her sons on a little later so that they can talk about what they're up to and the book and books that they're going to be writing coming up. So stay tuned.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Show that book. Okay. Tell me a little bit about your family background. Where you're from and what was it like growing up?
Yeah, so my parents are from Jamaica. They both were born and raised there. And they both came here for their education to go to college. They met at church right up here on Guy Brewer. And they lived in Queens their whole life. They're truly, my father's an educator. He was a teacher for many years. My mother was a nutritionist. And they both left their careers to start a business together. Yeah, over 20 years ago when I was a teenager. Yeah, and they're still running that.
What kind of business?
It's a financial services.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
So they also prepped us financially to win in life. And as soon as we turn 18, get an investment account, get all that stuff together, get a retirement account. Whether or not you got a job or you got anything, you're going to have this. Right?
Put that money aside.
Mm-hmm.
That's right.
Mm-hmm.
That's right. I mean, those are important skills, and it sounds like your parents, obviously were entrepreneurial themselves, and so that allowed you to see and have some experiences. I think that's probably one of the most important things for our community, because not enough people are in business and are mentoring the young people so that they can understand. Other communities are doing that. They have the butcher shop, the bakeries, and so on and so forth, and they bring their kids into it, or they're discussing it at the dinner table, and it allows the children to learn about certain aspects of business, things to do and things not to do. So that certainly has prepared you to be the entrepreneur that you've become. Absolutely, yeah.
Yeah, and I must say they were extremely strict with us growing up. They did not care about no American culture, no American nothing. They understood that they understood the purpose that why they were here. They understood that they were here to get an education, to live a better life. So again, I kind of saw them live in this world, but not of this world. They always kept their spirituality first. We couldn't even watch TV, listen to the radio. We would get in trouble for this.
Oh, wow.
So it's funny that I'm like, okay.
Now
I'm
you're
all
full-blown
I'm
multimedia,
right? But I understood that there were things that they were trying to keep us sheltered from. And, this is why it's really important for me at this point to work with my sons to create youth-friendly media, because, they don't have it. We don't have it. You can't turn on the radio and play something for your kids these days.
No,
I certainly can't. And so this is why, the music that my sons make, and what we're trying to create with our young creators is super important. And not just for our community. The whole world needs to hear this, okay?
Now, is mom and dad surprised at what you have accomplished and done? Because now this is totally, you went in a whole different direction.
I know. They don't probably even get it. They're just watching me move. They're proud. They're just proud to see me moving and shaking.
Okay.
And I don't even think they understand what most people don't really know where I'm headed or what I'm trying to do. So I'm like, all right, just watch me, or you could just join me, whatever, But I'm going to do it, Okay. And, they're just happy to see that I'm raising 2 young men, strong, healthy, talented, and loved and loving, which is mostly important. They're not concerned about too much like fame or anything like that. They're just like, make sure you're happy, make sure you're loved, and that's it.
Yeah. Well, we're going to go to a commercial break. We got to pay those bills, and we'll be back in a few.
Make sure to download the WGJS Radio app from the Apple Store or from the Google Play Store.
Even though we didn't grow up together, he's my favorite brother.
Hey, sis.
I'm the baby of the family, and he's the gentle giant.
What you know about Port Georgia?
Man, please, that's a classic.
You know when they say people are a rare breed? Yeah, he's that.
I'm sorry, I'll be back in a few hours.
Don't worry, Shug. You know I'm for you.
I know.
Go get the football.
That was my favorite memory. He was always for you. This is a true story of me, Bridget Floyd, and this guy, George Perry Floyd Jr., my big brother.
Get it, slip it, cuff it, check it. Talk to doctor now and share it. Get it, slip it, cuff it, check it. Talk to doctor now and share it. Gonna get it, gonna slip it, gonna cuff it. Check it, talk to doctor and share it. Gonna get it, gonna slip it, gonna cuff it. Check it, talk to doctor and share it.
Get it, slip it, cuff it, check it. High blood pressure silently affects millions of Americans. Staying on top of your blood pressure is as simple as these 4 easy steps. Self-monitoring is power. Visit manageyourbp.org to learn more.
What do we do? You may not be able to plan ahead for a ghost encounter,
Under the dining table now!
but you can plan ahead for natural disasters. Sign up for local weather and emergency alerts.
Maybe it's the apocalypse.
Know your evacuation routes and decide on a safe emergency meeting location.
Here? I know. I picked Orlando.
Protecting your family is the best plan you can make. So pass the Proton Pack to the next generation and visit ready.gov/plan to get started.
Ever hear the one about the frog? Put a frog in a pot of boiling water and it'll jump right out. But put a frog in a pot of cool water and slowly heat it up, and that frog will boil. It's a lie. But as a metaphor for us and all that we go through as veterans,
real-world experience.
it's a story that rings true. We make excuses for how we feel. We push everything down. We tell ourselves the lie that it's easier to stay in that boiling water, to disconnect. And some days, maybe, it is. But you've never been interested in easy. Reaching out is hard. Do it anyway. You're not alone. You've got this. You are not a frog.
Find resources at va.gov/reach.
Well, back. What are you listening to and what are you watching? We're listening to WGJS Radio, and you're watching us on Our World, Our Power show, right here in the heart of Queens, New York. Back with our guest. Now, my guest has her 2 sons with her, and would you please introduce them?
Yes, you guys are meeting my sons and my fellow CEOs. We have Avion over here and his twin brother Avery.
Oh, okay. Hi, guys. How you all doing?
Good.
That's wonderful. Now, tell me a little bit about yourselves and how are you involved in this business that your mother has created?
We're involved in the business.
Lean into the mic, yeah. There you go.
We're involved in the business because we are co-founders of the Luxe Library, and we help publish and help out at the library.
Oh, okay. I see that you all have a book.
Yeah.
Can you show the audience? All right.
Yeah, that camera, yeah.
That's it. And what is the book about?
The book is about a family of flowers who have unique expressions with their face, and they help a rose with bullying.
Okay.
You left out the most important part. What about the magic powers?
Oh, they have magic powers hidden in their bows.
Oh, good.
Okay.
Oh,
Okay.
I like magic powers. I need some more of them myself.
And not to mention, it's a storybook, but it's also a coloring book. So it's
Oh,
an activity book. They
okay.
created their own crossword puzzle inside. It's an activity book. So when schools order the book, they realize they can't just get one. You got to get one for everybody.
Right.
That's
Yes.
awesome. What a beautiful idea. Now, who came up with this concept, especially with the coloring part?
My mom came up with the coloring part, but you guys came up with the rest of the ideas, right?
Yes.
Okay.
I wanted to do a fish family, and they were like, no.
They want to do a flower family. So what had you choose flowers?
It's because we love like nature, and
Yeah, when we were younger, we used to love growing the garden.
and we would always like try drawing.
Flowers and stuff
Yeah.
and plants and whatnot. Okay.
Yeah.
So you guys are connected to nature.
Yes.
Okay. So maybe you guys going to produce like maybe a one on birds or something? You like birds or animals?
Not really. We
Not
just
really?
love like
I like animals.
like the nature that looks really beautiful.
And
like
the emojis
flowers
part, the
and
emoji part too.
I like dogs.
Okay. Okay.
He's like, maybe I'll write a book about dogs.
The puppies are always the cutest.
Puppies are they're pretty.
All
Puppies and
dogs.
kittens. I'm like,
Except
oh
for
my
dogs.
goodness. Yeah.
Except for guard dogs.
Okay, let me tell you an important part of the story is that when we were kind of, being creative in the house, we actually wrote a grant to Disney, and one of them submitted to do a rainbow garden, and the other one of them submitted to do this book. And it was we were just gonna see which one gets granted, and the book got granted the money. And that's
Really?
Yeah, because we were doing a lot of gardening. We created a vegetable garden in the back of our house and a flower garden in the front. We put the bricks down and everything. We mulched it and everything. So we were really excited about that back maybe 3-4 years ago. And when Disney granted the book, that's when we went full throttle with their book.
Well, tell me now, how did you reach out to Disney? How did this all come about?
I think through my educational career, I get a lot of emails about grants and youth programs because I raised a lot of money for my school programs as well. But when I saw this one, I had them submit. And I was like, because they have a nonprofit called Disney Be Inspired.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. And so we submitted for each of them, and the book got the funding. So we went forward.
Wonderful.
So what's next for you guys? What do you see next on the horizon?
I want to make my own show.
Make your own show. Okay. Okay. Like a podcast?
No, not even.
No, like a sitcom.
Oh,
A sitcom.
Okay.
Oh my goodness.
He is writing a script. He's been writing this script since the pandemic as well.
Good for you.
Oh, wow. So you take after mom with writing too.
Yes.
Oh, that's awesome. Now tell me about when you're in school, what does your other fellow students think of you? Or do they know what you're doing?
They think of me as like the flexible, fun, and funny type.
Okay.
Okay.
Speak up, we can't hear. Speak up.
Talking to the mic, right?
Now, when you're in school, have you all been, come in contact with bullying?
Yes.
Okay.
Does your book address bullying? I think it does, right?
Yeah. Avery,
Okay.
do you want to talk a little bit about
about
we
it.
chose to write about bullying?
Yeah.
We chose to write about bullying because
Use the mic.
we first started thinking about making a book about bullying because our mother she said that there's always going to be bad things in life, but what you have to do is you have to just let go. You have to not care about what they think. So, and she also made a book about bullying, so that's why we got the plot for bullying.
Oh, okay. 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 Very good. Very good.
Now, have you been bullied in school at all?
Yes.
What does that feel like?
It feels annoying.
Okay.
At my old school, I used to be bullied a lot, but my new school, they're really they're a lot nicer.
They're nicer.
Yeah.
The kids.
Yeah.
Are you
Mhm.
able to talk with your teachers about bullying?
Yeah, and my friends they think I'm a really funny kid.
Oh, that's wonderful.
Avion has a very similar experience to me. He got bullied at his old school in the community, and now he goes to, he got accepted to a performing arts school in the city. So he's Broadway bound over there, and just such a difference. His lifestyle has changed. They don't tolerate bullying there. It's like night and day what he's had to go through just staying at, in the community schools. And I'm like, we got to do something about this.
Yes, we do.
Yeah, it's like sad that we have to go so far. He travels 2 hours a day to get to school in the city just to have a peace of mind and a peace of life.
Yeah, it's a shame, and you're able to provide him that as your parents provided for you, I'm sure.
Yeah.
And all of that is support for their future.
Absolutely.
I think one of the things that gets underestimated is education, educating our young people and making things available for them, at an early age, so they don't have to wait to be an adult to try out acting or writing.
Exactly.
I mean, these young folks are writing a book. So, I mean, that puts them so much further ahead of people. I'm writing my first book. Just put an outline together, and looking to move that forward. So I mean, it's I'm a lot older than them.
Yeah, and I would like you to help me with my book. I already have the name and everything, and the picture, the cover, and so forth. I just need the helping with the writing part.
Yes.
Yeah, it's
You are
it's
talking
about
to the
my
right
life.
person. Visit the Luxe
Yeah.
Library. Come through. I got you.
I'm the second best
You're the second best.
at ballet in my class.
Oh, okay.
Oh, at ballet? You're a
Yeah.
ballet
you
dancer?
study really?
Yes.
Go, boy.
I'm
All right.
second. I'm second.
Second
best.
best. What? Well,
That's
we gonna
good.
get you first best. You first best in my book.
Karumi is.
Okay.
Oh, right.
Okay.
That's awesome, guys. Oh, so you're gonna have class and grace, huh?
Yeah.
That's beautiful.
Yeah.
That outside of education, the cultural arts that are taken away from our kids, the music, the dance. I was working with this brother who's doing band, creates marching
music,
bands
yes,
and
yes.
whatnot, and the communities that have it, you can see the acceleration in terms of the students, because they're much more able to adapt and to be successful in life, because they've had some obstacles.
It gives you some motivation. It gives you something to work hard for. It gives you something to wake up for and actually, push. If it wasn't for this dream and me knowing this purpose that I have, some days, I don't know, I wouldn't get up, And just knowing that I have to fight, not just for them, but for many, many kids in our community. I know that I have to keep going. And let me tell you, the pandemic, it really took a toll on me. There were times when I thought, okay, everything I've done so far doesn't matter. The world's gonna end. It's not moving fast enough. And I really was in a very dark place. And just being able to stick it through and coming out of it, I had to think, if I come out of this, what do I want my world to look like now? And that's really when, I took my dollar in a dream and invested into the Luxe Library, because I said, there's no way I'm going to continue to go on this, what do they call it, a hamster wheel of life, and we're not progressing and we're not growing and my people are not healing, even family, I'm like, we have to change this. So that's really my initiative, and, you know, I just want to share that with everyone. You know, as many people who would listen, I'm like, come on, we could do this, we could live. Just tell me what your goal is, tell me what you want, and I'm going to show you how to make it happen.
Oh, that's awesome. And that's a beautiful thing for your sons to see that you're doing and the way that you think. I am so glad to have had you on our show, Our World, Our World Power. Please show the audience your books again.
Yes, please.
And what's coming up, and what's the name of your books?
So mine this is my second book, Dear Diary. Dear Diary, I'm Not Feeling Myself. This is the second book in the series. The first one was about bullying, and this one was about one of her bullies and her story and why there was so much hate coming from her and how she heals through that. And what's coming next is and I guess I'll leave this. This was Falling Out. Then I'll leave that for you. And the third book in my series, I'm writing about one of the love interests, his story. And that's my first book from the male perspective. It's called Dear Journal, Does My Life Matter? And I started writing that in the pandemic, because you know why. We didn't know if our lives mattered.
Yeah.
That's true.
Yeah.
That is
Right,
very
tell me
true.
about yours.
Go ahead. Guys, tell me all about your book.
Oh, this is me and my brother's book, The Flower Emojis Stop the Bullying. And it's about a family that are flowers, of course, and they live in a garden by the bay. They have fashionable yet comfy bows, which have flowers in them and give them powers. And in this book, at the kids' school, they have someone is bullying one of their friends, so they jump in to help out.
Yeah, they use all their powers to stop the bullying.
Nice.
And scare away the
Of
Scare away the bullies. Okay.
Yeah, but of course the powers are secret.
Yes.
Can we tell one?
Yeah, Daisy extends her arms with love.
It's funny because all of their powers are exposed on the cover. This one gives love. She makes things freeze. This one brings water. This one brings... Okay, I'm telling them all. This one makes bugs and butterflies appear. It's all natural based. And this one makes connects with the sun and makes fire.
Wonderful.
Wow.
Now, also, again, tell us how we can get those books. And
you can get them
on Amazon, Kindle.
Or you can come to the Luxe Library.
Okay.
Stop by and buy.
And our website.
And where is it located at?
480 Rockaway Turnpike.
All right. Go ahead, guys.
Everything is also available, and all this information is available on our website. It's www.theluxelibrary.co.co.
All right, you got that down packed, don't you guys?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay.
All right.
Well, you're creating a future business for yourselves, right?
Yes.
And your children.
Yes.
Okay. All right.
Okay. Well, it's been a pleasure. It's really been a pleasure having all of you on.
Thank you.
And I wish you all the best of luck.
Thank you.
Delicia Davis, thank you so much for the wonderful work that you're doing here in our community. I love that you are got your young men involved and you're inspiring other young people in our community to be entrepreneurs and to write books and to dance and to do all of the things that we do so creatively. So we wish you much success, and we're going to probably have you back in a year or two, and we want to find out what has happened and what's next, and you'll probably have about 2 or 3 establishments by that time.
We hope so.
Yeah, you're probably working on your 3rd book while I'm still trying to get my 1st book together.
No, we're going to get that together. We'll make sure of it. I do just want to say thank you so much. Can I shout out your sports host, Mel from Queens? I thank him for introducing me to you. I thank him for even letting me know about the radio station, because ever since I've found out that you guys were here, right, in Queens, I've been seeing you everywhere.
Oh, wow.
From the borough president's speech, and at events. I'm noticing you guys did something with Forbes. I'm a part of the Forbes for the Culture group. I'm like, you're everywhere.
Right.
And before, my eyes didn't see it, and I'm so glad we connected.
I'm glad too. I'm very glad.
Shout out Mel from Queens.
Yeah, yeah, Mel. Glenn, what's going on in the community? Anything before we leave we would like to talk about?
We've got quite a few things. things. So we've got the Air Train Jazz Festival concert series is back till the end of July. Thursday nights on the second floor at the Air Train Terminal from 5 to 7. In addition to that, Sutphin Boulevard Business Improvement District, myself, is holding concerts in front of the Supreme Court. So the Supreme Courthouse from 1 to 2, July 14th, July 21st, July 28th, and August 4th, we will have music concerts from 1 to 2 in front of the Supreme Courthouse, 8811 Sutphin Boulevard. And then September 17th, we're bringing back the Harvest Festival, Sutphin Boulevard Harvest Festival. We're going to have a day for family events. We're shutting down Sutphin Boulevard from Jamaica Avenue to Hillside. Hope you can come, maybe you get a booth and
sell your books.
And sell your books and let people know about the Luxe Library. But we're going to have a wonderful family day. We're going to have a stage. We're going to have music. We're going to have
plenty of food vendors.
Food and merchant vendors. And this year, we think we're going to be doing something around circus. So we might have a little circus theme this year. So we're trying to do a couple of different things. And we will have a space for local artists. So any local artists that have their paintings, sculptures, what have you, that they want to display, JCAL, Jamaica Cultural Arts and Learning Center, will be putting together a spot for them specifically for local artists. So if you're a local artist, get a hold of either myself or JCAL. I can be reached at 718-291-2110. That's the Sutphin Boulevard Business Improvement District, and we can give you some more information. You can also check out our website. So we've got all kinds of free concerts and a fun festival that's lined up for. So don't forget to follow us on Instagram and on YouTube, and
don't forget to also give us a shout out and
That's
give
right.
us a call at 347-410-8077. Okay, please don't forget that number, 347-410-8077. You've been listening to Our World, Our Power here with Lady Pauline and my co-host, Mr. Glenn Greenwich, the Honorable Mayor of Sutphin Boulevard. It's been a pleasure doing a show with you again this week.
Thank you.
I know you're going to be off next week. So
Going to be up in Rochester with my daughter.
Okay. All right.
Hanging out with my daughter. So.
All right. Well, we'll catch you all the following week. Take care, everybody. Enjoy your weekend and be safe.